I'm not mistaken, of making Gwalior one of the most accessible cities, right? Accessible, there was, I don't think at the time there was the national program of Accessible India, Sugamya Bharat, but you made a set of changes in the city such that it becomes accessible for the differently abled, for the old age people, and so on and so forth. It also got covered in Satyamev Jayate at the time. But if you could explain a little bit again, what was the thinking and what exactly did you do?
See, this Accessible India, that particular project, making public places accessible. You know, if I happen to actually get onto this stage, you know, of course, I've been able to easily climb onto this. But for people who are physically challenged, and for people who are temporarily disabled, you know, you might be playing some game and you got, you know, your ligament tear or some issue happened with your legs, you can't actually climb onto the stair, this particular platform. So most of us will live beyond 80 years, you know, most of us. The reason being good environment, good health facilities and all those things. So I mean, if you have been to many countries, what you will see, and also what we are going to see in India as well, is 4 generations living together. 4 generations living together. That is, in a house, you will see that not only your grandparents, your great grandparents will also be there with you for the great grandchildren. So what is more important is that if you all happen to go to a film, or you want to go to attend a function, you know, maybe a marriage or something else, you actually need to have places accessible. And that is what I have realized way back when I was collector of Gwalior in from 2009 to 2013. 14 was that to make public places, especially you come across many a number of people who actually reach your collectorate with lot of applications. They have certain problems which needs to be resolved. Apart from that, whether it is railway stations or bus stands or any such places where people I mean, they need to get transported. All these places seemed extremely inaccessible. You know, I had a problem with my own father. He was not well. I came to Ujjain. He wanted to do darshan, but he couldn't walk. So I checked for the wheelchair, and classically the wheelchair was tied with chains in a particular room of the railway station master. So this is how, I mean, people behave as if wheelchairs are meant to be tied, wheelchairs are not supposed to be used, or accessibility is not something which should be common, whereas accessibility should be common, it should be available, it should be for everybody. It's not just about, you know, old age persons. It is also for pregnant women, for example, you know. It has to be extremely accessible so that you go to a hospital and you have to climb many stairs. So this is what I have realized as collector, and I converted, most importantly, all the public places. I made them accessible. 1, ramps, 2, railings, 3, signages, you know, and also ensuring that if a particular public place is not accessible, there shall be a heavy fine imposed on the government officer. And that actually made people realize. So classically what I used to do was, this is a very important thing you should all need to understand, is that I made all the government officers, you know, a one-day training for them. And what we did, we actually tied, we closed their eyes, tied some band on their eyes. We made them sit on a wheelchair, you know, and we asked them to actually access that particular place where we were actually giving training. So when you actually make them temporarily disabled for that particular, you know, 1 day's event, then you suddenly realize that how difficult it is for you to actually access. You want to go to the toilet, but you can't walk. You know, you are sitting on the wheelchair because you are part of the training and you are not supposed to walk. And if your eyes are closed, how will you actually access a toilet, or how will you actually get onto a particular stage? And that is when people realize that what kind of society have we created for ourselves? And that actually changed. And public government offices or public places, whether it is colleges, universities, hospitals, they all converted their places suo motu on their own into accessible places.
That's very interesting. And now it's a national mission. And
now it's a national mission. Now you will find a lot of places accessible. That there's a lot of awareness. There's a lot of awareness. Now even if you go to any amusement park, you will find, the places are accessible. And that's how it should be. And I request all of you to, take your grandparents along with you. Don't tell them that, hum to jayenge, aap to ghar pe baithe rehna. Don't do that, take them as well, One day we'll also actually reach on to that particular stage, and you just realize that just because the place might not be accessible, you shouldn't ask them to just sit at home and, that's how it should be. And I request all of you to actually appreciate this and convert even your house into an accessible place. There could be people who might be coming to your house. They should be able to access your house as well.